Okay. All right. Shalom, everyone. Okay, fantastic. All right, so looks like the countdown is going again. We're in a countdown loop. All right, shalom, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday morning. This is the first day of the classes that we're going to be doing, and we're going to be starting off with Elder Billy Jackson. He's going to be doing Finance 1, and so we're going to bring him up here in a minute. We do need a volunteer, a parent, to go up and help the Katan A. Was it Katan A? Where did B? Katan B. Go see Stephanie in the back. She's got her hand up with her phone in her hand. If we can get a parent to go help and assist upstairs. You got one? No? All right, you're all good. All right, fantastic. Okay, so we got that taken care of. Awesome. Well, I hope everybody's doing well. This should be the last day of rain for us, so we should hopefully be getting that done today. And so, although all in all, it has not been raining all that hard when we've been going in and out of different things as much. So for maybe once or twice, but it's really been pretty good. We've done one Sukkot where it rained. I mean, when I say rained, I mean it poured every day for 8 days. I mean, and we were in a place where we parked on grass, and it was a muddy mess, and people were getting, it was just terrible. So we're very blessed, and it's very good. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and have a couple of quick reminders. So reminder number one, and then you can spread the word, because not everybody obviously is in the room here. Okay, we, the staff, have met with the staff here and confirmed that all of the things that we put out there in the buffet, you can eat. I know people are getting rumors out there and spreading all kinds of nonsense. If there's anything on the buffet that you are concerned with, you should come see me. Okay, because somebody went up to one of the, don't just ask a person who's bringing trays of food out. They don't know. Because some of you said to one of the staff members, are these meatballs okay? And they said, what are they made out of? She said, beef and pork. No, they weren't. They were beef. But they probably are always beef and pork, except now that we're here. Okay? And I went and confirmed with the people that are in charge in the kitchen, and they were beef. All right? And so the only thing that will be on the menu will be 2 breakfasts. We'll have bacon on the menu, and we will have separate for us turkey sausage or turkey something, okay? So they'll put something out there different for us. But that's the only 2 times the entire time we're here that there'll be anything you can't eat on the buffets, okay? Because they have found it easier to serve us the same than to serve everybody the same than to try to make separate things and keep it separate lines and everything else. So you should be fine. Now, can there be mistakes? Just like anywhere else there can be. So if you do see something you have a question about, I don't have a problem with that. Just understand that we've reviewed every item on the menu with their staff more than once, okay, and confirmed it even right before we got here that everything should be fine, okay? All right, just want to clarify that because we had a little problem last night where some rumors started going around because somebody asked the wrong person, okay? All right, so the best thing to do is to ask me, and then you'll get the right answer, or ask Billy, and we should be able to get that worked out, okay? Because I promise you we've made every effort with them, and they know they want to not mess this up for us because we're already booked out here for the next couple of years. They want us to be here. Amen? All right. So, I'm not sure. Is Marty back there? Okay, Marty. Do we have an in focus or something where I talked about active versus passive commerce and those kind of things? Did we never made one separate for that, right? Okay, at some point we'll record something, or I'll just say something here just to help everybody remember because it is Shabbat, or it's a holy day, and I want to make sure, especially before we get to Saturday, do you understand how are we here and how are we eating in the buffet? And I'll explain to you how that works, okay? And I've done that before. A lot of you have heard me do it, but we didn't record it as a separate thing we could just point to, which maybe we'll record something this time that we can then post somewhere. Okay. With that being said, I don't want to take up all of Billy's time, so Elder Billy Jackson.
That's mine. Take my notes. That's mine. That's my packet.
Oh, wait.
Oh, that's mine.
That's yours too? Oh, goodness. All right.
He's trying to take my notes. Good morning. Well, you're here. I'm very thankful that you're here. And we're going to start off this morning by talking about a subject. Oh, turn it on. Hold on a second. Hold it till it's green, right? There it is. So we're going to start off this morning talking about something everybody wants, but most people don't want to talk about, and that's your money. I can't think of any other subject other than money in religion that covers every aspect of your life. Money is involved in every aspect of your life, including your spiritual walk. A lot of our spiritual walk and people that I talked to over the years in counsel, their spiritual walk is jacked up because their finances is jacked up. And so coming into this walk where we have 3 tithes, I remember when I was back in the church trying to counsel people with just the 1 tithe, coming into a walk where you have 3 tithes and how to deal with them became a concern for many people that I get to talk to. So I have to coach them on how to lower their spending or increase their earning or find a balance in between. All right, so we're going to talk about it a little bit. Before we talk about it, how many of you seen Rabbi's Money Mastery teaching? Awesome, just about everybody in the room. So the first thing I want to talk about is our mindset. Because a lot of people struggle when they walk into my office full of tears, hope is gone, and only to ask them, do you have a budget? No. Did you write it out? No. Well, then how do you know where you are if you don't have a plan? Our plan is our budget. People walk into my office, I want to start a business. What does your budget look like at home? If home isn't straight, don't ever expect to go into business and be successful. And if you are, I know several people that went into business, home jacked up, went into business, they're successful in their business. Once they start making money, they give me a call. I made money, I don't know what to do with it. I made a lot of money, I don't know what to do with it. So we got to have the appropriate and the correct mindset to understand where we are to get to where we want to go. Amen? All right. So just want to read off a few statistics, give you a little background of me. And I think it's strange that when I talk to people about their money, nobody has ever asked me if I have a degree, if I have a certification. They never asked me my experience. All they want to know is, can I help them? Isn't that crazy? For everything else, I mean our health, our spiritual walk. When it comes to people's money, nobody has ever asked me. Actually, when I came to Tennessee, I did have somebody ask me, and they didn't have at the time any certifications that I thought appropriate to do what I was doing. And I've been doing this since 2011. Strangely enough, it all started when I was pastoring a church. And I looked at 6-figure earners that I knew. I was pastoring them. But the offering bucket, and we only did one offering, offering bucket never grew. We never had enough to pay our bills. People weren't giving. They were giving tokens. That's what I called it. They were giving Yahweh tips, according to their understanding. I had a family that was a business owner. The husband was making 6 figures. The wife was making 6 figures. And they weren't giving. Definitely not tithing. And so I prayed, because I teach you guys to pray. You got a problem, pray first. So I prayed. I was like, at the time, God, in that walk, I was like, what is the problem? I got 6-figure earners, many of them 6-figure earners, and the rest of them definitely making over 50 grand a year. I was like, why are we suffering? And there was a combination, I know now, of the walk and their ability to give and be obedient in their faithfulness in their relationship. But he said they haven't been taught. They haven't been taught. They haven't been taught correctly about money. They haven't been taught correctly how to deal with money. They haven't been taught correctly what money is for. So I began on my journey to figure it out. And I believe it's something since 2011 until now has been very useful in this walk. It's been very useful in my life. After getting out of the police department, actually while I was in the police department, give you a little background so you'll know that I know what I'm talking about. Nobody ever asked that anyway, so it doesn't matter, but I just want to share with you. While I was in the police department, I was also moonlighting, running a security business. I've always been in some type of business on the side. I've always had more than one job. If you want to take notes, I forgot to mention, I got some handouts over here. I got some cards and some pens if you need to take notes. Hopefully you have something to take notes because I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff. Should I be watching the time, Marty? So I know when my hour's up? Another 20 minutes, okay. So anyway, I've been in retail management for a long time. I've managed a supermarket. I've managed Goodwill. I've managed Payless. I was a district leader with Payless shoe stores. And due to the walk, I had to get out of retail. But I've managed some multi-million-dollar organizations from the bottom up, growing businesses and making money for a lot of people. I have set up several businesses, been successful in several businesses. And coming here into this walk with so many people and so many businesses, I oftentimes, again, look at what they're doing and where they are to see how I can help them to get to where they need to get to. So I always talk to them first about the numbers. You need to know your numbers. If any of you business owners know, many of you are, you need to know your numbers. Without knowing your numbers, you can not possibly know what goals you need to reach, what numbers you need to hit to get to what you need to get to what you need to get to. So back in 2017, the average household income in America, just in the United States, was about $59,000, average household income. 2020 census says it's about $62,843 is the average household income. Of that number, 8 out of 10 houses in America are living paycheck to paycheck. The average American house is living paycheck to paycheck, 8 out of 10. That means if you look down your street, 8 out of the 10 houses you see are living paycheck to paycheck, which means if they miss one paycheck, their whole finances are screwed up. One paycheck could mess up their life. 2017, it was 7 out of 10. Pandemic and everything moved up to about 8 out of 10. Houses are living paycheck to paycheck. Consumer debt in America, 12.73 in 2017. Now we're up to $14.88 trillion in consumer debt. What happens to people that make six figures? Six figures, 40% of six-figure earners are living paycheck to paycheck. 40%. The other 60% of $100,000 earners are worse off. A lot of them can't make it without a paycheck. So people ask me all the time, how does that happen? It happens because your income increases, and so does your expense and your spending. And so we miss it. 73% of American households cannot afford a $1,000 emergency. So if they can't live without one of their paychecks, if they had a $1,000 emergency, most times it's going to take up one of those paychecks. So you're already in a bad place. So how do we change the mindset to understand where we are to where we have to go? I tell people initially, when they come and sit with me, you got one or two problems, generally. Generally, people have one or two problems. They either have too much stuff or they have not enough money. And in between, there's a balance, and we can figure that out together, one-on-one. A lot of people ask me, you might see over there, I do have a business called Money Fit Coaching. It's online. And what I do is that's where I do the one-on-ones to help families get from where they are to where they need to be. When you call me for accountability at the congregation, because you guys know I work there as well, when you call me for that leadership, I don't have time to go through your whole budget and spend hours working with you to figure out where you are and where we need to go. So I have a business on the side that I do after I'm not working at the congregation, which is never, no, I'm kidding. I'm always working. That I help you one-on-one, and many of you have took advantage of that service. There is a charge for that. I believe, as Rabbi has taught me since I've been here, what you need, which is what I'm giving you now, what you need, there's no cost for that. But what you want, to get to that goal, to get to that dream, to get to the place you want to get to, There's a cost. And we can talk about that later. That's not the point. Just want to let you know. I want people to get confused. Like, he's teaching a class, he's our elder, and he teaches people and collects money on the side. I do. There's a good reason for that. I tell people all the time what to do with their finances, and not many of them do it. But if you got to pay for it, if it's of value to you, you'll do it. And I have more people that have been successful because they had to pay for it than the people that take the information that I give away for free and actually use it. So let's talk about the proper mindset. First off, your money is not yours. It's not Kendall's either. It's not yours. If you can get that in your mind and understand the money is not yours, it won't be so hard when you got to depart from it. It's not yours. And I know, you say, I worked for it, I earned it. I worked hard, I worked 3 jobs, I worked 12 jobs, I'm Jamaican, and it's mine. It's not yours. First of all, we got to recognize it all belongs to him. And if you get that perspective wrong, you'll overspend because you think it's yours. You'll waste a lot of money because you think it's yours. You make a lot of bad decisions because you think it's yours. What is a bad decision? Let me think of one, probably the main one that I talk about with people. They have money with no plan. Having money or income coming in with no plan, you're like a ship without a sail. Having money with no goal, you are a ship without a sail. You're just wandering around. When I'm counseling privately, the first question I ask my families are, if money wasn't an option, what would you be doing right now? Then the next thing I ask, if I'm in a setting like this, if money wasn't an option and you know what you would be doing, are you doing it? Raise your hand. I see 1 hand, 2 hands, 3 hands. And for some people, retirement is what they want to be doing, so it's okay. But you saw the hands go up. 9 out of 10 people, if you walk down the street and ask them what would they be doing if money wasn't an option, they don't know the answer. Because they're surviving, most of them not living. They've allowed the world, advertisement, marketing, life, responsibility to come in and dictate to them the choice that they have to make, not the choice they want to make because they're chasing a dollar. Some people are at a job they don't want to be at because they're there for the dollar. And they're very responsible people. But they don't have a way out. Most of them because they don't have a plan. It's a great book that I read often. You can find it on YouTube electronically. It's called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. It talks about 100 men that went out. And out of 100 men, they followed these 100 men through their lives when they got out of high school. Some of them went to college. At the end, it was only about 5 out of 100 that actually was successful. What is success? Success has nothing to do with money. You can be successful and be broke if that's where you want to be. I know some people that choose to live a very minimalist lifestyle, and they're very happy. But what is success? Success is waking up every morning doing what you want to do. That's success. There's no price tag attached to that. I'm successful. I wake up every morning, and I come to Beth Shalom, and I answer the phone and do my job, and that's what I want to do. I believe that's what I was created for. I was created to serve him in this capacity, to help people get to where they need to get to, not only in their spiritual growth, but especially in their finances. Because outside of religion, in your spiritual growth, your finances are connected in every single way, as we talked about in the beginning. So we have to change our mindset. How do we change our mindset? We change it first by understanding the question I asked you. What would you do if money wasn't an option? What would you be doing right now? People tell me, oh, I would travel. That gets old at some point after you see everything. Oh, I would start a business. What business? I don't know. Oh, I want to finish my college degree. Great. I had a young lady in my office not too long ago, and she came in because she was just tired of her job, and she got to the point where she just walked off her job. And I said, what would you be doing if money wasn't an option? Try to change the way she's thinking about what she just did. And she says, my goal to be successful, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I said, great. Now, she's not married, doesn't have any kids, but that's what she wants to do to be successful. In her mind, if she attained that, she would be successful. Great. So the next step is, how do we get there? Changing our mindset to understand how to get from where we are to where we need to be requires us to think differently. The world has taught you, has advertised to you to want what they want. But we're set apart. How can we want a little less so we're living off of 70% of our income and not 110%? The 10% over the 100 is your credit cards. Some of you are living 115, 120, 125, 150% of your income because you live the rest on credit. And I know nobody wants to hear it, probably all of you because you're here. A lot of people tell me, oh, I got credit, I got this much credit, that much credit, this much credit, this much credit. Credit is debt. And if I knew what I knew now, I would have never got a credit card when I was 20 years old. I'm 44 now, and I haven't had a credit card in a very long time. But if I knew what I knew now, I would have never got a credit card. People come to me all the time. Oh, I don't have, especially some of our kids that came out of our academy. Hey, I want to start life. I want to buy a house. I want to do this. I want to do that. I need to get a credit card. No, you don't. But the mindset, the world mindset has taught us that we need credit. We should get credit. Credit is good. Depends on what you need it for. If you got credit and messed it up like I did 20 years ago, actually it was over 20 years ago, then in order for me to buy another house, I got to get my credit straight. Because there's a requirement. I bought into the system, I got the credit card, did poorly with it, and now I got to get my credit built up to a certain level, a certain debt score. That's what it is. I have debt score. The bigger your score, the more debt you have. I hear people brag to me all the time. I got an 850. I got an 800. That allows you to do some things. This means you got more debt than I have. Or you had the income to keep up with the debt that you have. So I'm not telling you to cut up your credit cards yet. Some of you got big balances to pay off. But I want you to think about your money differently and have a mindset. A mindset that I'm not going to be in this same place that I am right now 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. I'm going to be in a better place because I understand how to think appropriately about my money, understanding that it's not mine. And also, a big motivator is you should be wanting to get out of that place and not establish due debt. In Habakkuk 2, the prophet is talking about writing a vision. And I like this piece of scripture because it applies to the correct mindset. Writing the vision. The first thing you need to do, you'll hear Rabbi say if you ever counsel with him, is what do you want? You'll come in with a problem to counsel about. He's going to ask you, what do you want? I'm going to ask you, what do you want? And then my next question will be, have you prayed about it? As many of you know. Because I want to make sure you're serious about what you want. But most of all, for you to be serious about what you want, you got to know what you want. And a lot of us in our finances, we don't know what we want. We want to be free. We want to have more. We want to do more. We want to give more. We want to live more. But how do we get from there to where we need to be? First step, write the vision. Write the vision. Know what you want. Figure out what it is that you want and write it down. Since we're talking about finances, I'm going to give you a financial first goal that you should write down. You should save or have in savings to start 1 month of expenses, living expenses. So whatever your monthly budget is, what you actually bring home, not what you actually have to pay out, because a lot of us are out Peter to pay Paul, because we live in 115, 150% above what we actually bring in. So write down what your goal is for 1 month, your expenses. That's your first goal. Write it down. And for everybody, it's going to be different. Some people can live off of $3,000. Some people need $8,000. Some people need $5,000. But if you don't have a clear goal of what it is you're trying to attain, and in this context, we're talking about our finances, you will never reach it. Write it down. Make it plain. I need to make $10,000 a month. Out of that $10,000 a month in this walk, how much of that are we actually going to live off of? Somebody can call it out. I can't see half of you. 7,000. Right. Because the first 3 is coming off, the first 30% is coming off the top when you get it, right? You watch Money Mastery. Even though it's not your third tithe year, you should be saving that 10%, and you can use that for your investing to build up your expense or your emergency fund. Should be 1 month. 1 month of expenses. It used to be 3 to 6 months. You start with 1 month, but then 3 to 6 months of living expenses. That has changed since the pandemic. Since 2011, I've been teaching about finances. It's changed greatly because of the pandemic. I would have people argue with me about paying off debt versus saving and what order to do that in. I said you need to be saving because you can be real responsible and all your bills are paid and you lose your job. You have nothing saved. How are you going to make it to the next month? And I actually had people argue with me. I got a good job. I didn't work there 30 years. That means nothing. But we're thinking about it and looking at money the wrong way because we're thinking it's ours, or we think we have time, or we think we're secure, so we think we have time to continue to mess up, not be in the place we need to be. And when we lose our job, most of you in this ministry will be talking to me. How do I get from where I am to where I need to be? We first have to change our mindset, figure out what we want. And I gave you your first goal is to save 1 month. Write it down, whatever that number is. Over here on the side, I have a personal snapshot, financial snapshot, that you can write down what you need help with. A lot of people come to my office and they come with a bunch of stuff. And I send them away with a budget and instruction and how to start working towards that goal. Money Mastery, Rabbi's teaching showed you, which is absolutely correct, or else he wouldn't have taught it. You need to track your expenses for 30 days. I teach people to put it in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag, all your receipts for 30 days. Do your best to buy it with cash so you can have a physical receipt. If you use a card, print it off and make sure you have that receipt and put it in there and start tracking. But changing your mindset means establishing a goal, writing it down, make it plain, because the rest of the scripture says so you can walk and not faint. Didn't say so you could run, so you can walk and have a clear idea, a clear goal, a clear mindset. This is what I need to do financially. Now, these rules apply to any area in your life for goal setting, but we're talking about finances. You looked around the room, many of you did. If you didn't, only 3 people out of the room raised their hand that says if money wasn't an option, they knew what they would be doing. So we need to change the mindset so we know. A lot of us are in this walk because we want to know. We don't want to leave it up to chance, up to doubt, up to a prior belief system. We're in here because we want to know. And our goal is to be with him. Amen? So we got to get it in line. Don't come up to me and say you want to start a business if your house not straight, because that's where we're going to go first. Show me that you can appropriately deal with your finances before we start talking about business. I've told you I've ran million-dollar, multi-million-dollar corporations, and I had to sit down with CEOs and go through my P&L, which is a profit and loss report, and I had to explain expenses line by line. Sometimes I had to stop the dumpster for coming to some of my stores more than once a month because that was $900. And I needed to save some money. I had to do some adjusting. But that's what you have to do in a business. And if you're not properly appropriating in your life, in your house, you're not going to be successful. So we need to start by writing the goal. 1 month of expenses. People often ask me, what do I do after I get there? Well, do that first. Come back and talk to me. I got a good filter that I use. Some of you may know what it is. When you come and I give you your instruction what to do, I give you a packet of paper, and I say, fill this out. It's a budget. Fill this out. It has instructions on it. Give it back to me. If I never get it back, you're not serious about getting your stuff straight. You never make an appointment with me, you're not serious about getting your stuff straight. And I know some people need time. I had somebody last night say, well, I need 30, 60 days to get it down because I spend a lot. It's okay. But once you get it done, let's sit down, let's talk about your numbers and get your mind straight. Scripture says that wealth, and I'm just going to open up this so we can lead into the next time that we get together to talk about finance on Finance 2. But wealth was given to you to create the covenant, to establish the covenant, not create it. He created it. But he gave you wealth, Yahweh gave you wealth to establish his covenant. Establish wherever you are, wherever he placed you, to establish it. And because we had the wrong mindset and we haven't been taught, a lot of us have been establishing our own little thing, our own little house, our own little world, and not use it for what he wants us to use it for. So we don't give appropriately. We don't do the first, second, third tithe. And a lot of it is not really everybody's fault. A lot of people don't know. They don't know how to take their income from 115% and bring it down to 70%. It's easy for me. I'm an outsider looking in. I can look at your budget and tell you, you don't need Hobo Max, as my kids call it, HBO Max, and Disney, and Netflix. That's $20 extra right there. And you can get all that stuff back once you get the stuff in alignment, but a lot of our stuff is out of alignment. And then last but not least, we living on somebody else's money. That's why you need to have your own. Start having your own security blanket and not using the man's security blanket. Because your security blanket don't cost you anything but some discipline, as Rabbi said, because most of us are lazy. We don't even want to think when it comes to our money. I was talking to a lady, said that she went to school to be a veterinarian. But she was a school teacher, but she went to college to be a veterinarian. I said, why are you not a veterinarian? That's what your dream is. Is that still your dream? Yes, that's my dream. Why are you not a veterinarian? Well, I got bills to pay. Okay, pay your bills, get another job, go be a veterinarian. Let's work on a plan to get you to be a veterinarian. That's what you want to be. Let's work on a plan to get you to be the CEO if that's what you want to be, or open a restaurant if that's the way you want to be. But we got to get home done first and get the right mindset in order for us to move forward with what it is we want to accomplish in our life. So we write the vision, we make it plain, so we can walk towards that vision and not faint. Though your vision is not going to come instantaneously, because it's not a microwave society. Everybody want it now. They want the pleasure now. They want to enjoy it now. They want to go on the cruise now. They can't afford life now, and they spend way more than they make. And one thing that Rabbi mentioned last night that I tell people all the time, we waste so much everything. We're just wasteful as people. I've been there, done that. We're just wasteful. And a lot of times we don't even know we're wasteful. Because we think we deserve Hobo Max and Netflix and Prime and this and that and this. And if you can afford it, I have no problem with it. If you mastered or learned how to tithe, I have no problem with it. Get all the Hobo Max you want. But if you don't have a goal, I sit down with you and you can't raise your hand and say if money wasn't an option, you don't know what you would be doing, then there's some adjusting that needs to happen. Your mind needs to change. Get out of that thought process like the world. Buckle down. I've told many people, I had couples sit with me. The wife is upset. She wants the husband home, but she wants more money. She's home taking care of the kids. I say, you can't have it both ways. Either he's going to get 5 jobs and take his responsibility, retool himself so he can get a higher paying job, or he's going to be out working 12 jobs to take care of you and the kids. And I hope you're there supporting him and cheering him on and loving him and helping him as a good helpmeet to be all he can be so you can stay home and watch the kids if that's what you want to do, if that's what you guys decide to do. But you can't have it both ways. You can't come and cry about you don't have enough money, but yet you don't want him to work. So let's change our mindset. First goal, 1 month of expenses. Let's get the 1 month. Just write that goal down, 1 month, living expenses. Some people say, well, I got that already. Good. The next step is 3 months, 3 to 6 months. But I like to take it slow. If you can do it faster, do it faster. But it's not a race. You want to say 1 month. What would 1 month give you? Gives you 1 month of freedom if you lost your job. You got 1 month to figure it out. 3 months gives you 3 months. 6 months gives you 6 months. Do you know we used to teach that 3 to 6 months of living expenses? Do you know what the new number is now because of COVID and everything, how the world is changing, loss of jobs and everything? 1 year of income you should have saved. So if you come to me to talk about business, you ain't got 1 year income saved, at least half a year, half of your income saved, we ain't talking about business. We're going to talk about how to get you where you need to be so you can launch from there, setting your appropriate goal to make sure there's no obstacles in your way. Let me help you jump over those landmines because they're out there. A lot of those are drive-by landmines. I got $10,000 from the stimulus. I want to go and be an investor. Nope. I got $16,000 from the stimulus. I'm going to go buy a new car. Nope. You can buy a used car. No car payments. We're not getting no car payments. 1 month, all right? 1 month. How long I got, Marty? 2 minutes. I'm good? All right, so we got our first goal. All right, change your mindset. Write your goal down. Put it in your pocket. Look at your goal every day. If you look at your goal, guess what? And you work at your goal, and you discipline yourself, and you get rid of Hobo Max. People got it on their phone, got it in their house, they got it everywhere. You can get to where you need to get to. It's not hard. It takes discipline. Rabbi talks about his gym membership. Do you know when I talk about waste, and we'll talk about it next time we meet, all the ways where we may waste and all the ways where we can save that money? Does anybody know the biggest area in our lives where we waste? The average American family, does anybody know? Want to take a guess? Where do we waste the most? Isaac? Entertainment is one of them. Eating out, food. Not just eating out, but food. It's a big one. It's 1 year I did my taxes. When I was a police officer, I did taxes, and I looked at the budget, and I was depressed because I looked at my taxes and realized how much money I earned that year, and I was really happy. But I looked at, I made, I think, like 77 that year. So I'm looking at 77,000 and trying to figure out where it went because I was living paycheck to paycheck. Like, where did this money go? So I start tracking my income for 30 days. At the end of 30 days, my wife will tell you our magic number was $671. $671 we could not account for that month. Didn't know where it went. You might say $671 is nothing. Well, it depends on what kind of income you got, what kind of lifestyle you have. I'm not ruled by money. I'm not materialistic. So money is amoral. It's not good or bad. It's what you do with it, right? So I'm not impressed by how much money you have. I got 2 L's in William if you want to write a check. No, I'm kidding. Most of you know that joke. But it went to eating out. That's where it was, entertainment, eating out. We would eat out just because we had to eat out. We would find a way to eat out, find an emergency that we had to eat out so we didn't have to cook because we were too tired. All those excuses. But you imagine if I saved $671 a month from eating out, how much I would have at the end of the year? $8,000. And then I meet people that are afraid because they have that much money. I had this one family that told me they had $16,000 because of the stimulus and all the stuff that happened, and they were afraid to leave it sitting in the bank. Do you need it? You've lived all this time without it. Your income is good. We went over your budget. Everything was good. Why do you need to use the $16,000? Well, it's there. It's there to save. It's only a poverty mentality that will cause you to spend money and not allow it to sit in the bank. Or advertising and marketing because they told you you needed the Cadillac. I like Cadillac. I don't have one yet, but I like Cadillac. But you'll find something that you need. Everybody needs something. I needed to eat out apparently. But we'll find a way. We decrease our spending, increase our income, we'll just get rid of a bunch of stuff. I didn't know. I found out you can sell used stuff on Amazon. Half of you could go through your garage and just sell stuff on Amazon, probably make $2,000 to get to your first month goal. Or some of you might realize what that number is and might scare you, and you might say, I don't know how I'm spending this. A lot of people don't know how they got to where they are. I said you got to where you are because you didn't have a goal. If you're a ship without a sail, I can make you go wherever I want you to go if I'm controlling the current. If you're the ship without a sail and I'm controlling you by that credit card with a $75,000 balance, I can get you to go wherever I want you to go. And I'm going to keep marketing to you because I want you to get that card. Because if you get that card, you're going to use that card most likely. Or you may lose your job after you spent the $75,000 and I still got you and I got your house and I got your car. I got your kids' college tuition. I got everything attached to you because you didn't have the right mindset. You didn't have the knowledge to keep you from making those bad decisions. So we're going to get there together if you want to. But all it takes you, first step, is to write your goal, make it plain, so you can walk and not faint. And though that goal may be a while before you get there, you will get there if you keep following the goal. You'll find ways. You'll drive down the street and find out a way that you don't have to get that Starbucks so you can put that $10. Starbucks is expensive. You put that $10 towards your goal. All right, and this is the last closing because I said I was done 10 minutes ago. I was talking to some young men 2018 at a Sukkot, talking to them about changing the way they think about money. And I asked them, how do you save $10,000? And if I just tell you that, you're going to think, oh my gosh, $10,000 is a lot of money. You might not think that since the government gave everybody all this money that we're going to have to pay back later, but I said, how can you save $10,000? And they were thinking, it's a big number to some people, depending on what your income is. Big number. So I said, how about saving 100 $100 bills? Every time you get paid, take a $100 bill, put it in an envelope and save it. Put it in a jar, somewhere you can see it. Motivate yourself. Only pay debt off that is interest bearing. We'll get into that in another teaching. But you need to start saving. Saving matters. Saving is the first thing. Writing your goal, trying to reach that goal. Cut out everything that's not going to allow you to get to your goal. I'm not telling you to suffer. I'm just saying you need to run like heck towards that goal of having at least 1 month. Everybody, I get a lot of phone calls about people calling about losing their job. If you had 3, 6, 9, 12 months of income saved, do you think you would be stressed if you lost your job because of the jab? You got a whole year to retool yourself, find something else, work 12 jobs. I used to tell people work 2 part-time jobs. It's still a full-time income, but it gives you the flexibility to move some things around if you were like me and needed to be a Jamaican and work all those jobs. But you can reach your goal. If you want to be spiritually fit, let's start learning how to be financially fit. Get our finances in order. First goal, you write it down. 1 month. Amen? Amen. Was that helpful? All right. So I told Shamish Rob that I'm sure there's people online that wanted to ask questions. If you have a question here that I can answer in a general way, I'll answer it the best I can. I might refer you to counseling one-on-one with me. And no, I'm not going to charge you at first. Unless you're just hard-headed, no one listen. Or you got a whole lot of debt, a whole lot of problems. All right, no questions? You got any online, Shamus Rob? Oh, he didn't shut it off because I said I was closing. Okay. Is there a question coming? Oh, she has a question. Just press the button, the red light will cut on.
Let's say that we have the 3 months of savings and it's sitting in the bank. With inflation going the way it is, are we losing ground to leave it there?
I always suggest putting it in a money market account. There are money market accounts that you can put in and earn a little bit, but it's better than putting in something that you can't get out or putting in a market where you're going to lose it. So it's fine sitting there.
Would you recommend maybe purchasing silver or something to offset that inflation?
It depends on what your goal is. That's going to matter what your personal financial goal is.
Okay.
I wouldn't talk about any kind of investing or anything like that until you, like 6 months, at least you got half of your income saved, or a year, because that's a bigger chunk of money. Then we can decide what we need to do based on what your goals are, long term. Because you may be retired, you may, all those things matter. It affects that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Oh, Miss Alyssa, can somebody take her the mic, please? Or you probably don't want to bring her down. Don't put her on camera, just take her the mic, please. I'm sorry, camera people.
Okay, question. Suppose you're living on disability or SSI and you're only allowed to save so much money and you want to make a big purchase later on, but you're trying to, you want, and you're doing it okay with the spending. Of course, I could get better, but I want to save or put some back for a larger purpose. But if you get caught on disability, you can lose it. Any advice, just practical?
Well, I hate to say it, like some people come to me, my older clients come to me and they got that mattress effect. Anybody know about the mattress effect? They got the house safe. They have a secure way to save money without putting it in a place that can recognize that it's there. A lot of people do it. The mob, no, I'm kidding. Bury it in the backyard. But yeah, you can put it in a place that's not like in a bank if you have a secure place to put it in, because they know they're sending you the money. They don't know how much you're saving. So if you're afraid of that, then put it in a place they can't see it.
Okay, my question is, if you're saving some in your own government funds and then you get asked if you have cash on hand in paperwork.
You don't have it in your hand.
Gotcha. Thank you.
It's not on hand, it's on safe, hiding in the backyard in the dirt. It's not on hand. I'm sorry, I got that from Rabbi. That's a rabbiism. I'm not volunteering nothing. It's mine, and you can't have. I already paid taxes 12 times. So I tell people, start businesses. Start a business. You need to start something. Find out how to do it. Check it out. Anybody else? Mr. Isaac, and then we go to Rob on live stream. Come up to the mic so they can see. I know that white light is scary. I know. It's coming to the light.
Testing. So should you keep a credit card even if it maintains zero balance, if you're having to pay the surcharge every year, or just go ahead and get rid of it? I mean,
if you don't have any balance on it, it's a zero balance, I would suggest you start learning how to live off cash. Or what I do is I have a secured card, a secured credit card. I took my savings money, gave it to the bank, and they gave me a credit card, but it's my money. It's not their money. You got to be careful with that one, though, because they will charge you interest on your own money if you don't pay the bill and you use it. But I teach people to use a secured card. If you want that feeling of the credit card, you want a safe place, so you think, to save it, and maybe you need to do that, put it on a secured card. There are many companies that do it. Yeah, they're going to frown at you and say, oh, your credit's good. You should just let me give you $25,000. I had one to bring. They told me, they offered me some money, one of these credit card companies. Oh, we'll give you $50,000. The little disclaimer under the bottom, you're going to be paying an extreme rate. Most of the time, double, triple, quadruple the amount that you borrowed. So you imagine them giving me $50,000. I used it for a good business idea, and then I lose my job, which gives me the ability to pay it back. And now I owe $200,000. And now you're sitting in my office asking me, how do I file for bankruptcy? I actually had 2 bankruptcy attorneys come and take a course I had back in 2011. And they drove up in these nice new cars. And after we had the meeting and I went out and saw what they got into, I said, get rid of your car. Well, I'm going to have a repo. Well, you can't pay it. They're going to take it anyway. Why would you get an expensive car payment and you talking about filing bankruptcy? So get a secure card if you want that feeling of credit. I would get rid of anybody else's money. You don't need anybody else's money. Now, if you're talking about, loans and things of that sort because you want to go into business, let's talk about it first to make sure you go in. We got a lot of experience. Rabbi has many, many years, and there's many people on staff that have years of experience with running business and owning business. I ran and made money for other people, had my own at times, lost money, made money, but you don't want to put yourself in that risk. I try to be as close to zero risk as I can possibly be. And most of that means trying to find out how you can do it for yourself, work for yourself. All right, Rob. Shamish, Rob.
Okay. Mark S. is, can we associate ourselves in other business owners that doesn't observe the Sabbath?
As long as the other business owner, and people call Rabbi all the time for that counsel, as long as that business is not causing you to break Torah, you want to be smart about it, seek counsel, make sure the partnerships or whatever is set up appropriately so you don't get taken to the bank. I think that's the best way I can say that, so you don't lose your shirt. A lot of people want to go into business, and at the beginning when they're talking about business, it sounds exciting, and it sounds like a great idea and you can make money, but they don't set it up properly as a business partnership the correct way. And when they want to split or when they disagree, it's hard to get out of that. And they wind up losing a lot or suffering a lot. You got anything else?
I got one, but I'm trying to get clarification from Yanni. She says, question, can one save money in MTOI for future move to Tennessee?
I would call in and find out the particulars about that. I know we strongly, last Feast, Shavuot, and even Pesach, people were sending in extra money. They didn't understand the tithing, that they were supposed to keep the second tithe they use for a feast like now, and whatever's left over, you could then give at the end when you have no more use for it, if you had more than you actually needed. But people were sending in feast money to use for the feast, and we had to give them their money back. So we don't do that, but it may be a certain circumstance because she's out of the country. So she can call and counsel about her particular circumstance. But on a normal basis for everybody, the answer is no. You can't save money with us.
That's what she was kind of referring. So her money would be here in the States. So then, when and if she gets to come here, she would be able to start her home and life here.
Yeah, Yanni, call and counsel so we can get the particulars and specifics about what you want to do. There's a lot of electronic online things that you can do transfer-wise, so on and so forth, that you can keep it in your money until you're ready to come here and then transfer it over. Banks will do the same thing. You can keep your money in the bank over there, and when you want to move here, they'll transfer it. So call us and we can counsel about those particulars of your situation. Anybody else? No? Oh, come on. Mr. Winnett. If you look at your paper and you look at your neighbor sitting beside you and their number is bigger than yours, you might want to no, I'm kidding. Like, look, can I have a couple of yours till I reach? Go ahead.
Hi. Yeah. I used the bank rewards credit card initially for like emergency funds, but I don't need it now. But I do use it because I make about $500-600 off rewards, so I funnel all my payments through it and just pay it off immediately.
I'm not a fan of credit cards. I've heard people, I know people get amazing points and all kinds of things from credit cards. I used to sell credit card processing, so I know how it works. They're giving you rewards back because they're lowering the APR, a lot of the cards. They're just giving you some of the processing money back. If you don't need to operate that way, get out of it.
Okay.
Get out of it. I mean, you're earning processing money back, and I know it's almost like, oh, I'm giving away free money. But what if your business goes down a tube and you got their money? They want their money back. Same thing with a credit card. People say, I got a zero balance, I have no annual fee until you need it, until you use it. And you want to be put in that tempting place where, oh, my car broke down, I got $2,500 in the bank, but I also got $2,500 on the credit card. Let me use the credit card and save my cash.
Gotcha. Yeah, I keep it at a zero balance. I just pay it off immediately after I transfer money for payments.
Yeah, I don't, you'll never hear me shout for any kind of somebody else's money. I never do.
Alrighty.
All right?
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Marty gonna have a lot to edit this. All right. Well, I appreciate all of you. Look at that. I almost made it time for Rabbi to come out for his class. Everybody super excited about the color code? Woo! Oh, that's the first one. Half of y'all gonna need to go back and get the right lanyard because I'm looking around the room and I know. No, I'm kidding. We changed out a few this morning. Somebody did their test and had to change their lanyards up. They were something different than they were before. Sure, Miss Kathy, we can come on. Grayson or Shane, can you let Rabbi know that? Well, I'm sure he'll be coming out. Let him know that I'm wrapping up. Oh, there's Shane. Miss Kathy said some young lady dropped their glasses outside the elevator. Anybody missing glasses? Which building? Pritchell? At the Pritchell building, if anybody's missing glasses. She's going to take them to the front desk if nobody in here. Thank you so much. You're welcome. He's on his way. All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. If you guys need help, I'm the accountability partner for a lot of people and their finances at the ministry. They call and just ask questions. Is it good, bad? Like, again, I don't have time to dig deep, but we do offer that. Rabbi and myself can give you some guidance when you got that. You're at the car dealer and you're trying to decide should you fix your cars or get a new one. We'll help you do that. Or if you should buy or save or hold or sell, all those things, we can help you immediately with those things that come up. Sometimes you just need a kick in your butt, and I'm happy to help you limp away. No, I'm kidding. But we can help you. Super excited. The marketplace is open. For those who didn't know it was open, if you need to get your T-shirts and stuff for Friday, it's open. If you need to get a copy of the color code, you haven't did it yet, there are copies on the table that you can have and get ready when Rabbi comes.